Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you live from my back porch on Tuesday, January the 31st, and it's fucking cold out here. There we go. That's not cigar smoke, by the way. All right. Well, I got the cigar fired up. Been smoking on it a little bit already, as you can see there. A little bar pull action. I got another one in the hole. And then just got a little barber pole there. All right. And then also too, what are you drinking? This is my last of the Bourbon County, last one there. All right. So this is the coffee stout. It says made with Intelligentsia, Burundia Turahamwe coffee beans. All right, there you go. All right, but this is really fucking tasty. And here we go. We'll load up on this. Yeah. And I got looking like Michael Jackson right now with one glove, but I can't do electronics with this one, but it's fucking cold, so we'll keep one glove on anyway. All right. And yeah, so once again, cheers everybody. Yeah, there you go. All right. So well, let's get into the NFL here. Hold on a second. I want to trying to even this out just a wee bit. And here. All right. Okay. All right. So we'll get into the championship games from Sunday. So I was actually like I said, I was getting ready to start. Figured I'd just throw on my my Houston Roughneck shit. I actually got a Roughneck shirt on. You just can't see it because it's fucking cold outside. But anyway, so I was actually driving from San Antonio and didn't get to see the Eagles-Niners game. Kind of heard about it and stuff, and also my buddy Sosby was keeping me abreast of the situation because both of us bet money on the game and both of us took the Eagles. And basically, from everything that I saw, everything that I heard, really not that great of a game. Niners had some turnovers, and then of course they lost all their quarterbacks. Brock Purdy, and of course, hyperextended his elbow. Turns out, we found out yesterday that he does have a torn UCL, which is going to probably require Tommy John surgery. Now, usually you hear about Tommy John with baseball players, with pitchers, but every once in a while a football player will have it as well. Ben Roethlisberger had Tommy John. Looks like Purdy's that way. They said that he was probably going to have surgery. The 49ers were recommending it. He was going to seek a second opinion, but he's going to be out for 6 months. Now, the recovery time for a football player, for a quarterback, is less than it would be for a pitcher. It's usually over a year before you come back from that. A year, a little more than a year before you come back, but that's because you're throwing over the top. You got more torque on your elbow. You're putting more pressure on it, whereas football, you're up here, you're throwing this way, and you're not putting as much torque on the elbow itself. So it's going to be about 6 months for Brock Purdy. They bring in Josh Johnson, who's a journeyman quarterback. Josh Johnson's played for fucking every team in the goddamn NFL. He's kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick was, except worse. Hell, Josh Johnson played for Washington at some point. But he came in, apparently looked like Josh Johnson, and then he got concussed. He sent to concussion protocol because Purdy had come out and told Shanahan, he's like, look, I can't throw the ball, like I can't throw it more than like 10 yards. I got nothing. And of course that's because he tore his UCL. It was just a ligament in your elbow for you. Y'all should know that. Y'all are sports people, you're watching this shit, and so they just had to run the ball, and like I said, Philly got some turnovers, winning the game 31-7 in a blowout. Now they did grease the poles in Philadelphia, but apparently they didn't grease them well enough, and people are still climbing street signs and poles and fucking shit. Saw a video on NFL memes too. Some people got up on a bus stop, which you're not supposed to fucking be up there, and there was 6-7 people up there. Fucker collapsed, and everybody just came down like fucking Humpty Dumpty and some shit. Fucking Philly fan, man. I tell you what. So really nothing much to talk about with the NFC Championship, but the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, and of course last time they went, they beat the Patriots, and Nick Foles won, and Nick Foles was the quarterback and all that kind of stuff. Of course they got Doug Peterson was the coach. Of course Peterson in Jacksonville now, and all that kind of stuff. But that's what was going on with that, and then AFC Championship game. I did get to see Chiefs and the Natty Cincinnati, the Bengals, with that one. And here's the thing, all right. Cincinnati was talking a lot of shit before the game. And we'll get into the officiating here in a second, but they were talking a lot of shit during the game. Right? You had the one, I can't remember who it was, one of the players called Arrowhead, Burrowhead. The Bengals had been 3-0 against the Chiefs. Burrow was 3-0 against the Chiefs. They beat Kansas City earlier this year. They beat them in the AFC Championship game last year. I think they beat them again, like maybe I think it was last year twice. And I think because they beat them in the AFC Championship game. And so he was 3-0, so they're calling it Burrowhead, and everybody was on Joe Burrow's jock. And also, too, Pat Mahomes had a high ankle sprain. All right, so and we all know Pat Mahomes, best quarterback in the league. Joe Burrow's up there now, so is Josh Allen, but Pat Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the fucking league just because of what he can do. I mean, he can fucking throw the football from 20 different goddamn arm angles and fucking do no-look shit and just fucking get the ball to anywhere, all right? And, of course, he's got some really good weapons, too. So, and I think Eli Apple had made some comments and shit, and then he got fucking roasted by Scantton. Valdez Scantton just fucking took him to school. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown. But it looked like Mahomes, his ankle was okay. They say a high ankle sprain's like 4 to 6 weeks. He's, of course, coming back off a week. Probably had some kind of cortisone shot or something like that, but kind of wearing off there at the end of the game. You can kind of see him hobbling around and stuff like that. But it was a really well played game. Burrow had a couple interceptions. One of them they couldn't do anything with. Mahomes had a pick too. And so, it was kind of back and forth there. And, fast forward to the fourth quarter, it did get weird because there was they did stop the play on third down and essentially gave the Chiefs a fifth down almost because they came out and they stopped the play on third down, and then the next play they threw a flag for defensive holding, and then the Chiefs ended up with a first down. But even though, and you can say that there's a conspiracy with the NFL officials and the NFL rigged the game and all this other stuff, but to be completely honest with you, Chiefs didn't fucking do anything with the ball on that drive. They couldn't make anything of it. I mean, they got the first down. They went for it on fourth. They got it. But then even with the holding call and everything else, they couldn't fucking do anything. And then and it was tied 20-20 at that point. And then the big play was, what's his name? Went to Texas. Osadi? Anyway, the linebacker. He got hit with the 15-yard roughing the passer called unsportsmanlike. It was a late hit. And if you look at it, NFL Meme had a really good view of it, like down the sideline, looking at it that way, and you can see from that angle that Mahomes is a good 2 or 3 yards out of bounds before he pushed him. And so and it's the quarterback, they're going to throw the fucking flag. And what was going to be a 59-yard field goal, which probably, to be completely honest, it was a first down. Chiefs probably would have ran another play. Now, they were out of timeouts. They probably would have ran one more play, try to pick up some more yards, and then get up and clock it real quick. There was still, a few seconds left on the clock. And now, whether or not they would have been able to do that, who the hell knows? And then, because they had gotten out of bounds because they picked up another 10 yards, made the field goal a little bit closer, made it around, 50 or so. But Buckner made it from 44. Didn't have a lot of leg on it, though. It probably would have been good from 50. But it probably wouldn't have been good from much further out than that. Because, like I said, he didn't really get all the leg into it. So Chiefs end up winning the game 23-20. So if you had the over, congratulations. If you had the Chiefs, congratulations. If you had the Eagles like me, congratulations. I'm still in the hole, but I got closer to even. So because I better large sum of money on that game. Don't tell my wife, but as far as that goes, and the thing about it is, like I said, since he was talking a lot of shit. And everybody was slurping on Joe Burrow, and everybody was on when the Bengals did have the Chiefs number. I'm not going to lie about that and all that stuff. But and Mahomes was hobbled. But at the end of the day, I mean, he found Travis Kelce, he found Scantling, and that was that basically. And the Chiefs ended up winning the game. They're going to the Super Bowl. So for the third time in the last 5 years, they're going. And then we'll talk more about the Super Bowl as it goes off because we got 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. That's kind of what's happening with that. Now, to me, I mean, before Sunday even started, I was like, Philly's going to win and the Chiefs are going to win. And the reason they're going to do it is because of hubris of both fan bases and the Bengals themselves, the players. Because what happened in Philadelphia is a Niners fan put a Niners t-shirt on the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. And that's happened 2 other times. I think, I know the Giants did it. I want to say the Vikings did it. And anytime that the opposing team has put their jersey or shirt on the Rocky statue, that team has lost. And I was like, that is hubris. There's a Niners fan. I was like, Philly's got this. Philly gonna win this game. They did. And then I just said at the same time, it's like, oh, they're calling it Burrowhead. They're everybody's slurping on Joe Burrow and everything like that. And I was like, they're gonna lose this game. Hubris. All right. Too much pride. They committed hubris. They end up losing the game too. Okay. Yeah, we can talk about the officiating. And if you're a Cincy fan, I understand you're upset, especially for the 5th down. Like I said, though, Kansas City didn't score on that drive, though. I mean, ran some more time, got a little bit better field position, but that was really fucking it. And like I said, you pretty much had to call that hit out of bounds. So that late hit, you pretty much had to call that. But I will say, though, that of all the officials, and we always always hate on the officials, in baseball, with the, home plate umps, we just want consistency. Just give me a consistent strike zone. Like, if you're going to call it, a little off the plate, just make sure you keep calling it off the plate for the whole game. And you're doing it for both sides. Nobody's going to bitch about it. Okay? If you're calling a high strike, once again, be consistent with it. Nobody's going to say dick about it. All right? If you're not going to give the quarters, don't give the corners to anybody. All right, just be consistent with it. Like, that's all we want is consistency. We just don't want you to be all over the fucking place. Okay, and that's what happens a lot of times. Is like, it's like, how the fuck is that not a strike? It's like at the top of the knees, over the middle of the plate, and he calls it a ball. And you're like, what the fuck? And then next time somebody else comes up, he calls it a strike, and it's like, dude, that was a ball last at bat. What the fuck are you doing? All right, so we bag on the officials. All right, same thing with NBA officials too. All right, and they do have a hard job. It's hard. All right, these are world-class athletes. The speed of the game is very fast. You can't see everything. All right, you're going to miss calls. I mean, it's just part of the game, okay? But of all the officials, the NFL has the worst officials, and it's gotten really bad the last couple of years, and was really bad, this year too. Just some of the egregious shit that they missed. And which is just a damn shame. But the thing about the NFL refs is they are full-time while the season is going on, but that's it. So they don't do any kind of training or don't have a job during the off season, okay? And so a lot of these guys have second jobs, and they're bank managers and fucking attorneys and fucking, own a mechanic shop or whatever the fuck, okay? The NFL has to make the officials full time, right? They have to make it full time to where you're constantly being trained, you're constantly, officiating games, you're constantly are up to date on the rules and what the fuck a catch is and what the fuck a catch isn't, right? What the fuck is pass interference, what the fuck isn't pass interference, what the fuck is roughing the passer and what's not fucking roughing the passer, okay? And they need to do that. Also, too, they need to teach these referees, especially on a fucking turnover, that all turnovers are reviewable, all right, or reviewed by the booth. So if you see a ball come out, don't blow a fucking early whistle, don't have an inadvertent whistle, let the play develop, because a lot of times you'll have a fumble and it gets blown dead, but the opposing team could have ran it back for a fucking touchdown, but because they blew it dead, they look at it, oh shit, it was a fumble. Team gets the other ball back, but what should have been a defensive touchdown isn't. They bring it back, and then maybe your offense fucking doesn't get any points off of it when you should have had fucking 6. Or maybe you get a field goal instead of the touchdown, and you're costing points. Just let them fucking let the play go. Just fucking let it go. Also, too, what they need to do, and this is my own personal opinion on this, so FIFA's got the VAR, the virtual assistant referee, all right? And so if the referee on the field misses something, they can go to the VAR, and then the VAR can look at it. It's basically like a booth review, essentially. And I don't understand why they just can't put, and I think fucking college does this. I know that, hell, the XFL did it. They did it for their first incarnation. Hopefully they're doing it for their second incarnation. But put a fucking official, put a 8th official in the fucking booth that can look at shit and see if they missed a fucking call. All right, because instead of doing that, where they can just call down to the guy in the white hat on the fucking field and be like, nope, looked at it, he made the catch. All right, that's going to save fucking challenges. It's going to save fucking timeouts. It's going to save stoppages in play, because that guy in the booth can look at it real fast. All right, he can just buzz down real quick and just be like, hold on. It's like, no. It's like, you called it incomplete. No, he made that catch. All right, he got 2 feet down. He dragged the foot 2 feet down. It's a catch. And then the referee can just say, VAR says it's a catch. Move fucking on. All right. And some of those calls are judgment calls, like, pass interference and shit. But, like, I just, and hell, fucking that Giants Commanders game, where, that dude was draped all over. I can't remember who the receiver was. I don't know if it was McLaurin or somebody else. But the DB was draped over him, got there way fucking early, and then they didn't throw the flag. It's like, how the fuck is that, just. Now somebody in the fucking booth be like, dude, that was fucking pass interference, man. That was fucking pass interference. Throw the fucking flag. All right? And then the other thing I would like to see changed is the penalty for a pass interference, because I hate it that's a spot foul. All right? Because it's stupid to be able to gain 30, 40, 50 yards on a penalty. It's fucking ridiculous. But if you throw a deep ball down the field and there's PI down there, it's like, oh, that just turned into a 40-yard fucking penalty. That's fucking horseshit. Do it like they do in college. Automatic first down. So even if it's 4th and 15, all right, and they call you the PI, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down. Just do it like they do it for defensive holding. They give you a 5-yard penalty, but it's still an automatic first down. All right, but do the same fucking thing with pass interference. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down. So like I said, even if it's even if it's 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, you're still going to get the automatic first down. Drive's still going to fucking continue. All right, those are the changes I'd like to see. Are they going to do it? Probably fucking not. But there you go. All right, and then we'll get into more Super Bowl talk as we get closer to the Super Bowl. Okay. All right. Let's see what else I got here. All right. I did. Hold on a second. I gotta get to my screenshots here, because I had some stuff. All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, no, not that. Okay, all right, real quick, I'm just going to go through these topics. For you Astros fans out there, Astros got a new GM, Dana Brown, coming over for the Atlanta Braves. He is came over from the Atlanta Braves. He's a big scouting guy, and the Astros, their big need is to really replenish the farm system. That's what the Astros really need to do. They need to replenish the farm system, and I think he was hired to do just that. I think Jim Crane is going to be more hands-on. You got Jeff Bagwell, you got Reggie Jackson. Both are in Crane's ear. The Astros are really fucking good right now. You don't really have to do a whole fucking hell of a lot as a general manager, but just rebuild the fucking farm system. Very happy with that hire. He seems like a cool dude. He said he wants to get greedy on winning. I love it. Dana Brown, new general manager for the Houston Astros. All right, next up here, Colts. They hired Frank Reich. Not the Colts, I'm sorry. The Panthers hired Frank Reich as their new coach. I know the players wanted Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks probably should have been the right hire. I think still Steve Wilks kind of pissed off ownership, though, because ownership was trying to fucking lose, and Wilks was like, nah, we ain't fucking losing. We're going to play fucking hard, and we're going to fucking win, because I'm going to try and get the head coaching job. But they ended up hiring Frank Reich, of course, former Colts coach. So he's going to go, and he played for Carolina in 1995. I think he was their first quarterback, actually, in the franchise's history. All right, but Frank Reich is going to be the new coach. The Texans, as far as coaching hires go, looks like they're going for DeMeco Ryans from San Francisco, the coordinator. DeMeco played for the Texans. It only makes sense to bring him back. Also, he's a really hot commodity. Hopefully here in the next day or so, or hopefully, let's see, let me check my ESPN updates. Let's see, Big Ten. All right, no, that was Dexter Fowler or some shit. Don't need that. And then what else did I get here? Okay, and then that's something for the football team. All right, and Dexter Fowler retires. Nobody gives a shit about that. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that and with DeMeco Ryans. And I don't think. Let me go to Twitter real quick because I don't think there's any word on that just yet. As far as what the Astros are what the Texans are going to do, as far as that is concerned, I don't see anything. Let me go real quickly here to Ian Rappaport because he's the main dude, and we'll see if he's got anything to report today. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. The Texans' second interview with the Niners and Bengals concluded. He flew in last night, met with the team's brass this morning. There you go. There's the update on DeMeco Ryans. So the Texans' second interview with Brian Rogers and DeMeco Martin has concluded. He flew in last night and met with the team's brass this morning. So hopefully the Texans do the right fucking thing and hire DeMeco Ryans, but we'll see what happens with that. Now, if the Texans do hire DeMeco, the only coaching vacancies going to be left are going to be Arizona, Denver, and Indianapolis. All right. And apparently Jim Irsay wants to hire Jeff Saturday full time. Jim Irsay likes the booger sugar. All right. And I think he has a few cocktails too. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. It's his franchise. He's the owner. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to. But I think that's a fucking stupid mistake to fucking do that. But whatever. Cowboys fired offensive coordinator Kellen Winslow. Winslow's headed to the Chargers, according to Ian Rappaport. The Jets then hired Nathaniel Hackett as their new offensive coordinator. And my team's still waiting on a fucking offensive coordinator. We'll see what happens with that. So that was going on with that. Let's see whatever we've got here. Okay, so that was kind of all the football news there. All right. All right, let's get this to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame was announced the other day. The only one that the writers Fred McGriff got in on the Veterans Committee. Well, it's not called the Veterans Committee anymore. It's the whatever fucking era committee. Whatever, but he got voted in by the committee. Okay, so Fred McGriff's going to go into the hall. The only player that the writers voted in was Scott Rowland of the Phillies and the Cardinals. He received 297 votes, which put him at 76.3%. You need 75% to be voted into the hall. I mean, for me personally, I think Scott Rowland's a borderline Hall of Famer. I think he's in the Hall of Very Good. I think the reason that he's going in, I think, is because of defense. He's got 8 Gold Gloves at third base. But as far as numbers go, there's guys that have better numbers than he does at the offensively that are not in the Hall. But he got inducted. Todd Helton just missed out. I think Todd Helton, he's another one. I think for me, is a borderline Hall of Famer. Once again, the Hall of the Very Good, for instance, he's probably getting in next year. He finished with 72.2%. Andrew Jones kind of fell a little bit. It's like, how do you not put Andrew Jones in if you're going to put Scott Rowland in for defense? How are you not going to put in Andrew Jones for defense? All right, so he's at 68%. Gary Sheffield's at 55%. Carlos Beltran, his first time on the ballot, he got 46.5%, so the cheating scandal really didn't hurt him as much as I thought it was going to. Jeff Kent still at 46.5%. Once again, borderline Hall of Famer. I mean, I could see Kent getting in, but, for whatever reason, he's not. A-Rod, because of the PEDs, he got 35.7%. Manny, same thing, PEDs, 31.2%. Omar Vizquel, of course, has had some domestic issues, so he's down to 19.5%. And then Andy Pettit, Bobby Brady, Jimmy Rollins, Mark Burley, Francisco Rodriguez. The only one is, I want to kind of mention here, is Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner got 68.1% of the vote on his 8th year of eligibility. Now, here's the thing. We're putting DHs in, right? Edgar Martinez is in the Hall of Fame. David Ortiz is in the Hall of Fame. They were DHs, okay? Primarily were hitters. Didn't play a lot in the field. I think there's only 2 actual closers, like closers that we know today that have been used. Now, Goose Gossage, I believe, is in the Hall, but Goose, he pitched, anytime, any situation, any inning, didn't matter. Gossage got brought in, all right, because he was going to get a hold and he was going to keep people from fucking scoring, all right. And he might have a 2-inning save, a 3-inning save, whatever. You just put Goose in whenever you needed him, all right. But as far as modern day closers go, the only 2 that are in are Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera, all right. And Mariano went in fucking unanimously, okay. But if we're putting fucking DHs in, we should be putting fucking closers in, and if we're going to put closers into the Hall, I think you got to put Billy Wagner in there. Billy Wagner played for the Astros, of course, played for the Mets. Now, he didn't play as long as Hoffman. He didn't play as long as Mariano Rivera. I think Wagner played 12 or 14 seasons total, and Rivera was, and Hoffman were there for like 18, 19, whatever the fuck. All right. But Billy Wagner, I think, is like 3rd or 4th all time in saves. He leads all closers in strikeouts per 9. He leads all closers in opponent batting average against. He leads all closers in whip. All right. How the fuck he's not in the fucking Hall of Fame yet, I don't fucking know. Maybe he gets in next year. Hopefully. We'll see. And I think the big thing with the Hall of Fame is they got to let these guys vote for more than 10 guys. Because what happens is sometimes it's a crowded fucking ballot some years, and you can only vote for 10 fucking people. Also, if you don't get, 5% of the vote or 10% of the vote, something like that, you are off the fucking ballot. That's it. Your Hall of Fame, you're not eligible anymore. You get kicked off the fucking ballot. And so sometimes people will vote for guys not because they're a first ballot Hall of Famer, because they want to look at it, they want to keep them on the ballot and make sure that they get that they get on the ballot again, but that's going to take votes away from somebody else. All right, so I think they need to just let them vote for whoever the fuck they want to vote for. If they want to vote for one guy, let them vote for one guy. If they don't want to vote for nobody, let them vote for nobody. If they want to vote for 12 guys, let them vote for fucking 12 guys. Just as long as you get the fucking 75%, get the fuck in, okay? All right, so that's my bitch about the Hall of Fame. All right, I think Billy Wagner should be in. That's just me. Like I said, if we're gonna put closers in, he's one of the best of all time. All right, like I said, I know he didn't play quite as long, but his numbers are there. All right, like I said, he's one of people. He was one of the lockdown great closers of all time. Okay, put the fucker in. All right. All right, last couple of minutes here, real quick. Let's see if we've got anything. Nothing going there. Real quick here before we run out of time. Let's go to the NBA standings real quick. Get you caught up on those. It was funny. The Boston Laker game, they missed a call on LeBron, and then fucking Pat Beverly took the fucking camera, came out and showed the ref, like, "Hey, dude, that was a fucking foul." He got teed up, but that was fucking classic. That was good shit. Boston's still the best team in the NBA. They're 36-15, followed by Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Miami, the Knicks, Atlanta, Washington, and Chicago. Those are your top 10. In the bottom, Indy, Toronto, Orlando, Charlotte, and Detroit. Western Conference, Denver leading the way at 34-16, followed by Memphis, the Sacramento, the Clippers, Golden State, Dallas, Phoenix, New Orleans, Minnesota, and Utah. On the outside looking in, OKC, Portland, the Lakers, San Antonio, and the Rockets. And of course, the Rockets have the worst record in the NBA. And then, whoa, that's not what I wanted. And then, real quick, give you some NHL standings here for you. Boston leading the way in the East. They are 38-7, followed by, and this is in the Atlantic Division, followed by Toronto, Tampa, Buffalo, Florida, Detroit, Ottawa, and Montreal. In the Metropolitan Division, you got Carolina 32-9, followed by the Devils, the Rangers, the Caps, the Penguins, the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In the Western Conference, Dallas actually at 28-13, leading the Central, followed by Winnipeg, Minnesota, Colorado, the defending champions, Nashville, St. Louis, Arizona, and Chicago. Out in the Pacific, the Kraken, the Seattle Kraken, leading the way there, followed by Vegas, the Kings, Edmonton, the Flames, and Calgary, Vancouver, San Jose, and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. That'll do it for this week's episode. Remember, catch me on Twitter at JJSportsShow63. That's at JJSportsShow63. Have a good rest of your week. Enjoy this week without football. And I know as hard as that's going to be, we'll get ready for the Super Bowl next week. But in the meantime, cheers, everybody. Take it easy. We will see you next week.